Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. I am currently just sipping a little water here because hydration is important. And I also have with me my very most important thing of all, and that is my cup mug. And since it's just me, that means it's a panel full of cup mugs, panel full of cup mugs. Beer, 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 beer. Survivor Australia edition, period. And you can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically within the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So there are no excuses. So get your cup merch, period. So we are here talking Survivor Australia and episode 7. And y'all, it was a doozy. Well, I mean, I want to say it was a doozy. It was all right. I'll say that. It was all right. Yeah, it could have. I thought it was going to be a lot much more interesting than I thought, but no, no, not as much. It was all right though. I will say that. Um it It starts off because we left off with Allie being gone. Oh well, let me stop. I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we jump into that, y'all know what to do. Please, please, and please subscribe to this channel because we are on a mission to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And we are going to do our part by giving you all the content that we can give you on time when it's relevant before shows airs and not holding out and keeping stuff. And, we're going to try to do that as much as possible. But um, we just really, 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 really would love if you would subscribe to this channel. If you're watching for the first time, welcome. Thanks for joining. It's just me today, but it's usually other people here, but it's just me today because people are traveling and people are working. So it's just me today. And that's okay. I'm going to still give y'all a lowdown and the tea on everything that happened. But if this is your first time, welcome. And please subscribe. We are on a mission. Please, 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 and thank you. And if you are interested, if you're a fan of drag or drag race, Eurovision Song Contest, or WWE Wrestling, we have channels for you also. Go to At the Cup Pod for Drag and Drag Race, At the Cup ESC for Eurovision Song Contest, and At the Cup Ringside for WWE Wrestling. We just finished talking about Elimination Chamber, which was amazing. And that recording is out. So go check it out and subscribe to that channel if you're a fan of wrestling. A lot of ESC things are going down. Check it out. Season 17 of your RuPaul's Drag Race is going down. And they're doing a refield of La Mas Draga, if another drag show in Mexico. If you haven't heard, you should want to check that out too because it's amazing. So go check out all the channels and subscribe. That would be amazing. We appreciate you. Also, check us out on the audio podcast links. Those links will also be in the description below. If you need to check us out on the go, we have those listed for you. And join our Patreon as well. We have a lot of fun things headed in our Patreon. A lot of stuff to get to know the panel better when we're not talking about competitive reality television or drag race or Eurovision or wrestling. We got fun things down the pipeline. And so join our Patreon so you can see all the fun things and get to meet the panel a little bit better. So check all of that out as well. And yeah, let's get into it because it was a lot going on. We just got rid of Allie, like I said, and people I say people are upset, but that really is Logan is the only one upset that went down. She did not want Allie to go. Her and Laura planned for her not to go, but Max had plans of his own. So there's that. But Max's plans kind of blew up in his face because he wanted Miles gone. And that's not what Miles' new alliance had cooked up. So it was what it was. But now it was time for damage control because to Laura and Logan, the coven was supposed to still be a thing, but the to Karen and Zara, they were no longer part of the coven. As which is funny because Laura and Logan were also not part of the coven anymore. But neither one of them told anybody else that they were going to officially break up the coven because no, they weren't going to do that. They were just going to go along until it was time to reveal that no, baby, we are not in this coven anymore. So, but it ended up backfiring on Logan and Laura because they just thought we were all part. But Zara was playing her part because they were trying to figure out how did the votes fall to Allie and not Miles. And so Zara was like, oh my God, I was just so confused. I didn't know what was happening. I just kept hearing different people and I didn't know what was going on. And in that tribal was so confusing. And I messed up and I'm so, so sorry. She was actually, and these are her words, not mine. I'm going to have dementia on them right now and just don't know anything. Like I was so confused. I didn't know. And I didn't know where the votes were going. And so I was just like, I didn't want it to be me. And I didn't know what to do. And nobody told me anything, even though it was a whole plan for her to vote for Allie. Like she was always going to vote Allie. That was always the plan for her. But kudos to you, Zara, for giving us some acting abilities. You know what I mean? I was not mad at that. She did what she had to do, and yeah. Let's bring up the chart, of course, so we can all see what's going on and see who I'm talking about when I say that. But yeah, so Zara's like, I don't know. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what we were doing. I just thought that it was just I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And Logan's like, I believe you, girl. I believe you. Because of course Logan is still trying to act like she was going to always be a part of this coven. And they were like, yes, great. So kudos to you, Zara, for pulling that off. Karen was like, this girl deserves an Oscar. Like, oh my God. So great. Um, so they had next morning they head off to the reward challenge. I know I'm probably missing something, but we're going to the reward challenge. That's where I want to go. And we get to the reward challenge, and the Brawn sees that Allie was the first one to go, and Rich was like, yes, yes, like openly cheering that Allie was gone. And I'm like, oh, this man, this man, what? Okay. I mean, he was very obvious with the whole advantage thing. So, of course, why not be obvious with this? And so Rich was, JLP asked him about it. He was like, I mean, it was the lads. I did that for the lads. The lads needed this and they did what they had to do. So it looked like to him that the bomb squad was intact and that was how it was the plan was supposed to be. But then Max started talking about how it wasn't and how the plan kind of blew up in his face. And it was just a mess. It was a mess, just like that mess of a tribal. um, and so JLP tells them that they are playing for a reward and they're playing for triple decker sandwiches. That'll be great. And then he's like, and what else you're playing for is a new change. Something he said. You have to drop your buffs, everybody. So everybody's like, oh no, because Karen had just said the night before that she was in a great place. This is the position she wanted to be in. She finally had her alliance with people who she trusted, and they were going to work. and, figure things out, and they were in a perfect position. And when you say things are perfect, and just when you get comfortable in Survivor, the Survivor gods switch everything up. And they switched it all up. And so it was time to drop the buff. We were doing a tribe swap, and it was gone. And so here are the new tribes for the new tribes. So Brawn 2.0 is Kaylin, Rich, Paulie, AJ, Noonan, Ursula, Karen, Kristen, and Logan. And Brains 2.0 is Miles, Laura, Zara, Max, Morgan, Kate, Ben, Petey, and Jesse. So out of the original Bronze tribe, there are five, one, two, three, four, five, five original Brawn now on Brains, and four original Brains on Brain still. And the same thing with Brawn is five original Brains on Brawn, and four, well, okay. It's really five original Brains with Rich included, but since Rich with the Brawn, so it's five original Brains and four original Brawn on Brawn 2.0 now. And so people are freaking out. Laura feels like she's screwed because she's on a team with mostly Brawn, and then Max, who betrayed her, Zara, who she said tried to force her hand and doing things she didn't want to do, and Miles, who talks a lot. So she feels like she is screwed at this point. And, and then on the other side, Noonan feels like she still has Polly, so she's very happy with that. And then, but she also knows that Ursula does not really trust her. And Ursula was very happy with the switch up because she knew she was at the bottom of her tribe, and she was just like, it's only two people who voted for me when we went to tribal, and they're both here. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like these people are not people who I want to, who I trust very much or want to play with in this game. So there was that. So then we get into the actual reward challenge, which you have to swim out to a platform, which is way out in the water. And then you have to memorize these blocks that have symbols on them. You have to memorize the symbols and the order that they were in. And then you have to get on the buoy and let your team pull you back, and then go and duplicate those symbols on the board in front of you in the same order. And whoever gets 3 points first wins. Simple. And so you, of course, you're going head to head with somebody. So the first pairing was Kaylin versus Laura, and Kaylin was like a done fish out there. His butterfly looked like he should have been in the Olympics. He was like, wow. He was miles ahead of, like, so far ahead of Laura, but she got there quickly, and he took his time trying to figure out the symbols, because a lot of taunting is going on in this challenge too. Like, Max is like, oh, don't worry about him, Laura. All he gonna do is say coconut, 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 coconut. That's all he think about. And so Kaylin was like, okay. So he goes out and he's, trying to memorize. He's memorizing. And he takes his time because he has time, because Laura hadn't hit the platform yet. But once she hits the platform, she looks at it. She's like, okay, I got it. So when he goes to leave, she also goes to leave. She's like, she got it. And they were off. So once the team was pulling them back in, Laura actually gets to the beach first, but Kaylin, she's slow to get out of the water, and Kaylin jumps up out that water and runs to the thing. So he starts putting his symbols up, and he's very secure in what he knows is what it is. So he's putting the blocks up, putting them in order, gives them the last check. I got it. And he was right. So 1 point goes to the Brawn tribe. And then the next pairing was Rich versus Zara. Same thing. Rich gets out pretty fast, gets to to the symbols. Zara comes in and he's looking, he goes and then she's looking and she goes after him. Rich gets back, puts stuff in order, and the brain tribe is just yelling symbols at him to try to confuse him. And like, no, 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 Rich, that's all right, that's all right. And he's just like, trying to block them all out. And they're like, it's this, it's this, it's this. But he's just focused on him and he's putting his stuff up and he's putting his stuff up. He looks, he looks, he looks. He's like, all right, check. He's correct. 2 points to the Brawn tribe. So the third pairing was Ursula and Katie and Kate. I keep calling her KT, but her name is Kate. Ursula and Kate. And so they swim it pretty neck and neck. They get to the platform around the same time. They're guessing, they're figuring it out, and they both jump in the water around the same time. They come back, and they're both setting up their blocks in the orders, and they're pretty neck and neck all this time. And so Ursula finally goes, okay, check. And JLP's like, and Ursula is not correct. She has to go back. So she has to swim back out and figure it out. And so she's halfway in the water when Kate decides she's ready for a check. And they're looking and looking. He said, and Kate is not correct. So Ursula keeps going. She goes up, sees her mistake, takes it on back, swims. Now she has to swim back because there's no buoy to pull her back. She has to swim back. And so she swims back and she quickly adjusts what she needs to adjust. And she gets her third, she gets the third point, and the reward challenge goes to Brawn. Congratulations to Brawn. They make it back and they're excited because they get sandwiches. And so good on them. Good on them. So after they all head back, they go back to camp and they get sandwiches. They get their sandwiches. They're, first things first, the brains who came over to the Brawn are super excited and shocked at how well their camp is. Like, oh my God, look at this shelter. You can fit like 12 people in here. This is great. Our shelter can't even fit 4 people comfortably. This is lovely. They're loving the luxuries of the Brawn's camp. And so they're sitting around eating their sandwiches, loving talking. And so they're trying to get to know each other on each tribe and how, dynamics are. And so Ursula is like, well, they're talking about tribe, and Ursula was like, yeah, I was at the bottom of my tribe, so this is great. And as she says she's at the bottom of her tribe, Noonan goes, like, oh my God, like, oh, this girl again. So I said, yeah, I've been voted out and I'm at the bottom, blah, blah, blah. And so the other tribe members are picking up on that. They're like, okay. Okay, I wonder if Brawn is Brawn strong. We don't know. We'll have to keep watching, just see. And so, juxtaposition to the other camp, it's the pig pen. They call it the pig pen because it's really nothing. Like this, the camp site is trash. The shelter's trash. It's just not good. And so they're like, oh, okay. Oh, this is it. Home sweet home. And the Brawn, excuse me, the original Brawn makes no question about what they're doing. They're like, Brawn, we need to go take a walk to the water well. Like Jesse is like, Brawn, let's get together, let's go talk. And the brain's like, oh, okay. All right. We see what type of party this is. We see what type of party this is. So they're like, all right, well, it is what it is. So they're going and they're like, we just go stay strong and we go, you know, we don't need to throw out names right now or anything. We just wait until to see what happened, but we gonna be strong. We gonna be Brawn strong. And they're like, yep, period. Simple as that. Like you have the numbers. Why rock the boat? They wasn't gonna worry about it. The brains, on the other hand, is like, we just have to win challenges at this point. We have to win challenges and try to make it to merge. We have to put our heads down and make it to merge. We don't wanna, you know, stir up anything. We just need to make it to merge. And so we did see a side conversation between Zara and Miles, and they were talking about how, you know, if something go down, like Zara was like, we just got to go find an idol. We got to go look for it. We need to look for it. And they went looking, and they were close. And I was like, oh, they get another idol because AJ took the idol over there to the Brawn tribe with him. And so, so it's two idols floating around the Brawn tribe right now. And so, but there was an idol at the Brains tribe right now that they were looking and they were looking, but they didn't see it. But they were very close to it, but they didn't see it. So they were like, we need to just figure out, we need to win challenges, number one. And if push comes to shove, if we do lose, we need to be the first to strike and go join up with the Bronze Tribe and throw maybe Max or Laura under the bus. She was like, yeah, Max first, Laura second. And they're like, yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. And so they leave, and here comes Max, looking around the jungle, and he happens to stumble upon the idol. So Max being first is not gonna happen if played correctly, because he has an idol. So he finds the idol, has it. Nobody knows he has it. So Max, kudos to you for finding the idol. Good on you. And we'll see if he plays it right in the future. Does he need it this round? We shall see. So we get to immunity challenge. And the immunity challenge is a lot of just obstacles, and then a bigger obstacle at the end. You have to first take these two huge crates and unravel yourselves, like move the crates. Y'all have to physically, two teams have to move two crates around and unravel a rope that's wrapped around a pole. And once you unravel the rope, there's a key at the top and it will slide down. You grab the key, you unlock the um the crates from the ropes, and then you go on and move your crates through a rope tunnel, and you have to get this heavy case through the rope tunnels, both cases. Once you get them over there, now you have to take the case, slide them up a ramp and over a wall. And so once they get over the wall, you now take you open the case, and you take these discs that were in the case, and now you have to put the disc on a slide, and you take a bamboo rod and you have to put it under it and lift the disc above this high slide. And once it goes up high, you have to get it to get up to the point where it can go into a panel and stay at the top in the panel. So that's the challenge. And whoever gets all three discs up there will win. And so we start off, and the brains are eating this up. They go and they unravel their key fast. They get the, mark it out, and they get it done quickly. The Brawn is having a little trouble. Logan is trying to direct them, but gets stumbled up a little bit. But they finally get the key down. By the time they get their key off the rod, the Brains tribe has moved their cases through the rope tunnel pretty quickly. And so then they have to hurry up and get their cases through, but they brutally strength and push their way through, the Brawn tribe, that is. And so they get their way through, and then the Brains are at the ramp pushing it up and over the wall, and the Brawns are catching up slowly but surely, getting it up and over the wall. And so by the time they get to take the disc out and put it on the thing, Ben and PD are going to maneuver the bamboo stick, and then they get it up, and then it's a learning curve. They got to figure out how to get this disc to go up the wall without falling off the pole. And they're struggling a little bit. They are struggling to get it to go up and not fall, and it's taking a minute. And so the first person on the Bronze tribe, they finally get their thing up there. And so the first person to try, I want to say, was Paulie or AJ. One of them tried, and then it was like, okay, no, listen, we can't do it. So Rich got up there, and Rich figured it out. He got it pretty quickly. He figured out, how slow he needs to go, and because the Braun's like, maybe we can toss it, or the Brain's like, maybe we can go up. That would work, of course. But Rich figured out how to do it. So he got his first two up there really quickly and really easy. And so, but it was also very taxing and tired. Made him very tired, doing this. And it's hot. So they just hot and they sweating, and they just like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And so Ben took a break, and I think Max came in to try to get it up. He was not having any luck, but he had that break. So Ben was like, okay, let me get back in it. And him and PD got back in it, and they started doing it again. Rich was like, I got it. He didn't want to switch out. And so it came down to the last disc, and Ben had his technique down. And in the end, the Brains won the immunity challenge. Yay for the Brains. Good on them. So they got it together. They finished their things. Good on them. They go back to camp. But also everybody got Flint now. Thank God, everybody got Flint, because new tribes. Jonathan felt nice. Forgot to mention that. But everybody. So the Bronze tribe go back to camp. And baby, this is where the scramble begins. This was a scramble of all scrambles. This was scramble like, okay. So at first it looked like they were going to be, the original Brains would be like, look, it's 5 of us and it's 4 of them. Let's just keep it how we keep it. Let's just pick one person, and they're going to go. And so they're like, who are we landing on? They're like, Noonan. And so they're like, okay, let's vote Noonan. This is how we do it. We'll vote Noonan. And so the 4 original Bronze was like, we have to figure this thing out. If the 4 of us stick together, we can maybe get Rich, because Rich is a Brawn now. Maybe he won't go back to his original Brains tribe. Maybe we can get him, and we can vote out Logan. So they were like, okay, let's see if we can do it. Let's go get Rich. And Paulie went and talked to Rich. Rich was like, I'm down for that. Because he told them, the original Brains, he was down for Noonan. Then he just told Paulie he was down for Logan. Because, of course, remember, he was still mad at Logan for what Logan was trying to do to him at the original Brains Beach. So he was like, yeah, I can take out Logan. I don't mind that at all. Let's do it. And so it's just like, I can play it safe, or I can cause chaos. Which one am I going to do? So In that time, while they figuring this thing out and they think they have a plan, AJ decides, let's switch things up a little bit. And he's like, I feel like we should switch something up. So he goes to Polly and he tells Polly, like, I like you and Noonan. I think I want to work with you guys. That would be great. Um, what and so Polly was like, well, what do you think about voting out Logan? AJ was like, that's well, AJ said, oh, what do we think about voting out Logan? Polly was like, that's perfect because that's what we think. And if we get you and Rich to join us, we'll have the numbers. We can vote out Logan. Great. Um, and so AJ was like, okay, all right. So he goes to Rich and it's like, listen, if you vote for Logan and the Rich plan, you don't need me as a number. I just need to, but you do it and I'll be okay with it. And I want to work with y'all. I just can't do it. And Rich is like, what you mean? He was like, no, I mean, he's like, you just need to vote for Logan with me. And he was like, well, you don't need my number because if you vote with them, the four of them plus you, that's the majority. And he was like, I just need you to trust me and know that I'm working with you. I just can't vote for her right now. And so Rich was like, because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to save your own game and your long game. You want to throw me out there to be the one to turn on it. And then everybody's mad at me. He was like, no, trust me, nobody's going to be mad. And Rich was like, nah, I think if I do it, you have to do it. If you don't do it, I will come after you next. And AJ's like, what? He's like, no, because you have, if I put myself out there, you have to put yourself out there too. And AJ was like, oh, fine. I'm with you. And so in that moment, I'm like, he is not going to vote for, if he going to let Rich do it, he's not going to do it. But then AJ was like, I don't like that. He said, what if we get to convince them to vote out Rich instead and not Logan? And he said, I gotta make some magic happen. So he goes to Logan and Karen and Kaylin, and he's like, listen, Rich is voting with them, and they're gonna vote out Logan. And he said, so we need to vote for Rich. And we need to convince them to vote for Rich. And Logan was like, don't react. I'm telling you this because I'm trying to show you that we here. He like, I'm trying to show you we here together. So we need to vote out Rich. And Logan was like, okay. And they were like, y'all down? They were like, yeah, I mean, we got to do what we got to do. And Karen, of course, is thrilled to death because she has wanted to get rid of Rich for so long. And so AJ goes to Noonan. Paulie is like, it's got to be Rich because he's not voting with y'all. He wants to go after Noonan. And so Paulie was like, wait, what? He told me he was good for voting out Logan. He said, well, he told us he was good for voting out Noonan. So we can't trust him either way. And so Paulie's like, oh my God. Now, in the midst of all of this, I wish I was saying that this was over, but in the midst of all of this, Logan tells Ursula that she knew that Noonan apparently didn't like her because of the way Noonan rolled her eyes at her when they were at the beach. And when she mentioned that she was on the bottom, Ursula had no idea that Noonan rolled her eyes. And prior to that conversation, Noonan was on Ursula because she wanted them to stay Brawn strong. And Ursula was like, I don't know. I don't trust y'all. I have some, stating her issues that she don't really trust them because Noonan and Paulie were the two people that voted for her. And she just don't know if she could trust that. And they were trying to say, no, we are strong. We need to work together to get through this together. I want to work with you. And so Noonan got real saucy with Ursula about, why you keep saying this and why you keep bringing this up. I'm telling you, I'm trying to work with you. This is and the other. And Ursula's like, well, I don't trust you. And she was like, well, we don't have to trust each other to know that we are just doing it for this vote and blah, blah, blah. It was just a lot. It was just a lot of back and forth between Ursula and Noonan. And so Ursula, now hearing that Noonan had rolled her eyes, she was like, okay, now you was coming at me at the water well about this, and then you were behind my, just roll your eyes when I'm saying, well, okay. So all this is going on, and AJ tells Polly it's Rich. And so now Polly has to go confirm with Rich, that he's voting for Logan. And Noonan and Ursula are still back and forth arguing about how they just don't trust each other, or how Ursula don't trust Noonan, but they want to work together. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot of back and forth. And so when it's time to go to tribal council, all of Rich's name is out there, Logan's name is out there, Noonan's name is out there. And we don't know exactly which way it's going to go. If Rich is going to convince Polly that he's voting Logan, and so Logan tells all of them we're voting Logan. But then Ursula has said she is not voting Logan. She's not voting for Logan because she don't trust them, and that she's voting for Noonan. And it was just like crazy. So they're like, if they vote for Noonan, if they hear that she's voting for Noonan, and they all change their vote to vote for Noonan, she can be gone. And I thought Ursula was going to run over to Logan and be like, listen, I'm voting Noonan. Y'all can vote Noonan with me. I'm voting Noonan because I don't trust her in this game. And I think they probably would have went for it. But she didn't tell him because Ursula's very quiet. And I'm like, that's her downfall in this game. She's too quiet. She don't say things. Because I would have walked right up to them like, look, I am not working with them. I don't care what they tell you. I am not. I'm voting for Noonan tonight. And if y'all want to jump on and vote for Noonan, be my guest. And then you get one of the Brawns out. And I will so much be willing and happy to work with y'all. But I'm not working with them. Like, she could have easily said that, but she didn't say that. She didn't say that. So we go to tribal not knowing who is going to be the person to fall in this situation. We see they get there and JLP is like, so what are we thinking? What's the vote like? What's the vibe back at camp? And so they're like, it's like the first day. They was like, we're back to day one. We're trying to get to know each other. We're trying to get to know each other more, but we don't really have time because now we have to scramble and try to figure out who we're going to vote out. And we don't really know each other well enough to actually do anything, or to really have a reason to vote for people. Like Logan was like, I don't even know, what position Noonan plays in the football. I don't know why Polly decided to become an EMT. I don't know if Ursula wants more kids. I don't know how Kristen became a firefighter. Like, I don't know these things about these people, but now I'm forced to vote somebody out from people who I really don't know. She's like, I just think it's, I think she said it was a shame or wrong that you even asked us to do this, JLP. I don't think we should have to do this right now. That was cute. But they asked Rich about the votes, and he was like, yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on at camp, and I feel like we're in a position where we can either play it safe or cause chaos. And a lot of people are thinking maybe playing it safe and sticking tribal lines, and then maybe causing chaos and not going with tribal lines. It's a lot to think about, a lot to go on, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so it got to the point where everybody was like, forget tribal lines. Let's just screw tribal lines. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's screw it. Forget about it. And I was like, ooh, oh, okay. Screw tribal lines then. So they go, and it's time to vote. And everybody's writing their votes down, saying what their little pieces are. GLP goes to tally the votes. If anybody has a immunity idol and they want to play it, right now will be the time to do so. I'm looking at you, Paulie and AJ. Mm-hmm. Neither one of them move because their names never came up. And the votes come out. We got a vote for Noonan. We got a vote for Logan. We got a vote for Rich. And Rich. And Rich. And Rich. And Rich is voted out. And he was just like, oh, wow, okay. Well played, guys. Well played. Well played. And it's like, yeah. Yeah. And it's like, is this still? Now it's just 4-4 on that trial. Because you still have the 4 original brains, and then you have 4 original Brawn. But we also see that there is some cracks in the Brawn and in the brain. So it's like, who? AJ wants to work with Paulie and Noonan. Ursula does not want to work with Paulie and Noonan. So it's like, if AJ goes over there and Ursula goes over there, it's still 4-4. It's still 4-4. But it all depends on if Kaylin decides. It still comes back down to Kaylin. Oh, I forgot to do this. Yeah, sorry, Rich. It all comes down to if Kaylin decides to go over there, or if Logan's like, see if somebody else switches back. It's a lot. It's a lot, but that is how that goes. And so there goes the draft, and I unfortunately had Rich, so now I am down 3. But I'm still okay with the team that I have: a Morgan, Ursula, and Kaylin. I might be down the most, but I am not out. It is what it is, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But that is that, y'all. I'm going to get out of here because I have nothing else to say. We see the previews, and a lot of things are about to go down next week. We see some people, some alliances wavering or getting stronger. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. It's just going to be a lot. And we'll be right back here tomorrow to talk about all of it. So come back and, let's talk about it. And subscribe while you're here. If you stayed around this whole time, subscribe. I really, really appreciate you. If you did, subscribe to this channel and all of our other channels. All the links will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links, our Patreon, our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And you can also get the link to where you can get your merch, not limited to, but including your cup mug and all of our other beautiful cup merch. And yeah, you can follow me. That you see me scrolling. That's my Twitter. There's my there is my Instagram. TikTok is the same. So check out, follow me if you want. And we're going to get out of here because I got nothing else to say. So cheers, y'all.